meeting consistent with Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, which is stated in its entirety on our agenda. And let the public know that in addition to the Board of Selectmen, we have our Town Administrator, Graham Waters, Recording Secretary, Janet Murphy, Animal Control Officer, Linda Brackett, and Highway Superintendent, Ed Buckley, in attendance with us as well. I would ask that we stand. Okay. I will start that again. Good evening. Call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. Inform the public that we are conducting this meeting pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, which is stated in its entirety on our agenda. In addition to the board this evening, we have our Recording Secretary, Janet Murphy. We have our Town Administrator, Graham Waters, Animal Control Officer, Linda Brackett, and Highway Superintendent, Ed Buckley, with us. If everybody will join us for the pledge, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from last week.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those are approved. Thank you. Department heads, is our building commissioner with us? I don't see him. Do you see him on there, Graham?
I don't, unless he's one of the callers.
Okay. Well, Bob, if you're with us, speak up. Otherwise, I will go to Ed Buckley, our highway superintendent. Ed?
Good evening, everyone. I have a monthly update from the highway department. Just starting out with our general maintenance activities. We're out there sweeping all the main roads again for the holiday weekend coming up. And we also started our catch basin cleaning program this week. We got some brush, roadside brush and grass mowing also going on this week. So there's a lot of activity out there. The park and ground staff has been busy trying to keep up with the athletic field preparation and mowing there. Despite the lack of rain, the grass is still growing quite rapidly, so they've got their hands full trying to keep up with everything, along with the town facilities and maintaining the irrigation system. For construction projects, as you've probably noticed, our Pleasant Street roadway and sidewalk project has gotten underway, and they're making great progress out there. We got the base down on the road, and also about 80% of the curbing is installed. That should finish up, if not this week, definitely next week. So that's moving along great. We expect that project still to go into the summer, but I think they're kind of ahead of schedule at this point, so that's good news. We're in the middle of preparing the bid documents for the Mill Street Bridge project. We're still waiting on a date from the gas company to relocate the gas main under the waterway so that that project will be free to build, hopefully going out to bid probably sometime late June or mid-June if possible, and hopefully see a construction project later this summer. We've also, thanks to the board, signed the proposal for the Kings Pond Dam and bridge design, so that's also gotten underway. They're starting up on that. And then as far as some of our public safety activities, we completed the pavement markings around town for the crosswalks, refreshed those and the stop bars, and also added a new bike lane marking on the section of North Main from Tracy's Corner to the Bridgewater line, so we have a bike lane in both directions. I'm happy to report I have seen several bicycles on that route so far in my travels. And also throughout the summer we'll be working on our sign improvements and crosswalk improvements to continue some of the work we've got planned. Solid waste, we had our first hazardous waste day on Saturday. We looked at the turnout, and last year, because of COVID, I think, we had a lot of people doing spring cleanings. We had about 214 vehicles. This spring, we had 149, so it was a little reduction, but still a pretty good crowd. And our budget came in, last year was $17,000. This spring's session was $11,600, so I think with our extra planned event in the fall. Maybe it'll balance out for the year to be about the same cost, but I still think it's a good idea to move forward with the second event. Gives the residents an opportunity to have two chances at doing it. So, last couple of things, Johnson Pond. We're waiting to get some paperwork through to DEP, and then we're going to resume the treatments this year on the pond for the invasive growth that has happened over there. And lastly, I'd like to thank the board for the contract renewal, and I look forward to serving the town for my next contract period.
Great. Thank you, Ed. Any questions for Ed, Mr. Shivo?
Just a couple of comments. Ed, I traveled the North Main Street route that you just described, from Facey's Corner to the Bridgewater line daily, and I noticed today the bike paths, and it is just a great step forward in terms of just creating a contemporary feel in the town of Raynham, so keep up the great work that way. And I also recall that your contract renewal, which you just mentioned, will bring you to your 10th anniversary, so
Hard to believe.
we don't want to rush it, but they go together very nicely.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Ms. Riley, any questions?
Just information, Mr. Buckley. Pleasant Street looks wonderful, and I know people have said you accomplished so much. And just for information purposes, how do we fund these projects? Is it town funds that are put in your budget? Are they state funds, federal funds, funds from development, a combination of sources?
Sure. I mean, you know, each project, I mean, last year we had multiple projects from multiple sources, so we did some work with planning board funds, with Chapter 90 funds, and also the town's infrastructure article funds that we've had. So we try to combine those and use the resources as best we can to get the most work for the town in the best, most cost-effective manner. This year, Pleasant Street is all Chapter 90, the sidewalk and the road project, and then working on some grant funds for. While Mill Street will be a combination of article funds in Chapter 90, and then Gardner Street Bridge remains to be seen. But we do have a grant and an article to start the design on that. So.
Well, you do an excellent job pulling it all together.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Ms. Riley. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it. I will go again. Is Building Commissioner on? Bob, are you with us?
He messaged me he'll be on next week.
Okay. Next up is our Animal Control Officer, Linda Brackett. Linda?
Good evening. I just handed you guys something that I wrote. I applied for a grant through Mass Animal Coalition for spay and neuter of feral cats in
Yes.
the town.
That was in our packets tonight, Linda.
Oh, was it? Okay, well,
Yes.
there you got two. And so it's $4,500. We got $4,500 from the Massachusetts Animal Coalition. There's a checkoff box on your state tax returns that you can donate to Mass Animal Coalition. And there's the license plates that you can you buy through the Registry of Motor Vehicles, and part of that fee goes to this program. It was a highly sought after grant, and we ended up getting $4,500. So that's pretty exciting. Going to try to set the program up. I'm going to put something on the website and put something on the Facebook page. So it's going to be first come, first serve for any Raynham residents that has a feral that needs to be spayed or neutered. I've got contracts set up with a couple of different vets at a I guess you call a reasonable price, and we'll get as many cats done that we can get, and hopefully that will we'll see a reduction. I know several years ago I did about 121 summer, and for about 4 years we saw the fruits of that labor, but we're right back to where we started from. The last month has been crazy. I've taken kittens out of 5 little kittens out of a car engine, 5 out of a drain pipe at an auto body shop. It's Sunday. I got 6 out of a dog house that was like all overgrown. The kittens are just, and these are just animal control calls. These are rescue calls. These are just, I'm just talking animal control. The kittens, they're just coming out of the woodwork. We've taken from animal control, have taken 21 kittens in the last 7 days. So just to think what they would, where we would be in 6 months if they were out populating. So hopefully this grant is going to really help us, and it's going to be a lot of work, but it's really going to be worth it. So, and I'm just asking the citizens to work with us, and I'm going to need their help. I can't do it all by myself, so, but we'll get it figured out, and I think it'll be good. Any questions on the grant?
Yeah, I do. Linda,
Sure.
thank you for your report. A couple of questions. First off, how is the money applied, Linda? So is that money to go to the veterinarian?
Yes, and it's for spay and neuter only. So what happened is we got half of the grant funds already, and the treasurer put it into a special grant account. And as we use the money, we'll get the bills, we submit to them, to the treasurer, and he will pay the bill.
Right, and those bills you're talking about are veterinary bills?
Veterinary bills.
So
Now,
they're the
that's
ones, yeah.
just spay and neuter, so what I have to do, because anything else can't come out of that grant.
Okay.
But out of my budget, what I've done is I've bought some antibiotics and I've bought some flea medication and things like that we're gonna need to do this project, to put it all together. But I mean, just the money for the spay and neuter is a huge help.
That's a big help. What happens to, you mentioned 21 kittens. What happens to the kittens that you're finding?
Well, in the short term, they all end up at my house. Then they all go to foster homes. I mean, if they're sick, they're treated. A lot of them have been having to be bottle fed and syringe fed because they're still, most of the kittens out there right now are about 5 weeks old. I say the whole world's 5 weeks old right now. So then they go to foster homes, like the ones that got out of the carriage, and they were scared to death, but within a day they were fine. But we've got a lot of great volunteers through the rescue, and they take care of them until they're old enough. Then they'll go to the vet, they'll get all their medical work done, they'll get spayed and neutered, and then they'll get adopted through the rescue, and the adoption fee for the rescue helps offset the cost of their medical work. It doesn't cover it, but it offsets it.
So you're having the kittens spayed?
Every cat or kitten is spayed before it goes anywhere.
And how old do they have to be before they're spayed?
They have to technically be 2 pounds. Right now, I've kind of upped it a little bit. I'm looking for them to 2.5 pounds, so that's going to put them at about 11 or 12 weeks old.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
And is NOAA helping you? I know you head up the NOAA, the volunteer group, NOAA.
Yeah.
Are they helping with all of this?
Absolutely. All of the cats and kittens are in NOAA foster homes.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
yep,
great.
that's where they all are, and we've gotten a lot of donations as far as food and kitten formula and things, and our volunteers are phenomenal.
Okay,
We've had
great.
a lot of, I think we have 6,000 Facebook followers, and all I have to say is we have kittens that need KMR, and the next day my husband always answers the door. He goes, "Chewy's here." We get stuff all the time, and people are just phenomenal.
Okay,
Somebody
great.
passed away, and family, and I didn't even know, and they said their father was an animal lover, and they sent us a donation. And people are really, people are great. They really, really are. But there's such a need out there for these poor little things. I mean, I spent 6 hours getting the kittens out of a drain pipe. But they need our help. They can't do it on their own.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Riley, anything?
Did you want to comment on the bear sighting, Linda?
Oh, would you like to know how many calls we got on that? I believe there was about 25.
Really?
Yeah, there was a picture of a Ring doorbell of the bear on King Street.
Yes, I know.
Quite close to your house?
Not too far away.
Yeah, the morning it was at the Holiday Inn, it was early, I saw it, and so I called dispatch, and I said, "How many calls did you get overnight?" She goes, "A few." I'm like, all right. So I got up and got dressed real early, because who knows? You can't do anything with the bear, but at least you can go sit someplace so nobody's going to go try to pat it or something, But I think there's 3 or 4 of them. I don't think there's just
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
But they're beautiful animals.
I had never heard of that in town before. That's a first as far
No,
as
I've
can
never
recall.
heard of a bear in town, no.
Congratulations on the grant.
Thank
and
you.
all the work that you do.
Thank you.
Thank
So as far as the my monthly report, I started at the beginning of this month and I went through today. It's 124 calls. I tried to break it down to give you guys a little bit of an idea of the time that's going into this. I've spent 32 hours out on the road doing different things, whether it's, getting the kittens out of the car engine or out of the drain pipe. There's been 5 quarantines because of dog versus dog. There were 2 dog bites. I picked up 2 dogs, they were related, twice in the same day. I got a call from the police department at 10 o'clock one night because there was a turkey that was almost dead on 138. Got a call from the police department at 3 o'clock in the morning because some guy had a mouse in the ceiling. There's a lady that was traveling with her brother's cat, and she was staying at the Home to Suites Hotel. It was a Sunday afternoon, and she couldn't catch the cat. It was hissing and growling at her. So she asked me if I could come help her. So I went and I got the cat and put it in a carrier, and she went on her way. We had 2 rabbits last weekend. I spent almost 7 hours trying to catch one of them. Somebody dumped their actual house rabbits. They were big rabbits. There was one on Jess Marie and one on Juniper Hill, and the backyards abutted. So somebody dumped them, and it took about 7 hours to catch the second one. But you couldn't leave them out there. They were going to get, was going to get eaten by a coyote or something. Quite a few dead feral cats around, which is really, really sad. I also ended up on 495 and 24 on 3 occasions with state police with dog sightings on the side of the road. So they're calling and asking for help. It's pretty interesting going out and standing on 24. It's a little scary. But then we had, and I was actually at a birthday party, and we had a woman driving down 138, and she saw baby ducks on the side of the road and a dead duck. So I called Deb Silver, and her and Dave Donahue went out, and they caught 12 baby ducks and took them to, Dave took them down to Eastham to a wildlife center. We had a baby kitten that was abandoned that was screaming at 10 o'clock one night. It was about a day old, so I went out and I grabbed that one and warmed that one up, and that one seems to, like, she's going to be okay. But there's a lot of different stuff going on. But it's, so, I mean, I'm looking at 35 hours on the phone and 32 hours actually out on the road in the first 25 days of May. So that's a lot. I always said that this is the busy time.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you for that, Linda. I appreciate it. Anything else for us, Linda?
No, I don't have anything else.
Anything else from the board?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
You welcome.
All right. No other department heads, appointments, we have none. Public hearings, TMOP and Verizon New England joint poll location. I will open the hearing at 7:20 p.m. Is there anybody here to speak on behalf of TMLP or Verizon? Seeing none, is there anybody in the public to speak for or against this? Seeing none, any questions or comments from the board?
No,
None?
it seems
None.
pretty straightforward.
Okay, what is the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is approved unanimously and the hearing is closed. Thank you. Completion of old business non-union contract approvals. We had a few left over from before. The first one is the library director, Eden Ferguson. It's a 2-year contract with the first year's rate of pay being $1,484.64. What is the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve?
Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is approved. Thank you. Next one is the building commissioner, Bob Iafredi, also a 2-year contract with the first year's rate of pay being $1,933.32 weekly. What is the board's pleasure?
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. And the final one is Michael King, our treasurer collector, for a 3-year contract with the first year's rate of pay being $1,730.77 weekly. What is the board's pleasure?
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you. That is all we have for contracts. Any other old business, Mr. Shivo?
None.
Ms. Riley?
No, thank you.
Okay. New business, joint meeting with the Housing Authority and Planning Board. We will only be doing the Housing Authority this evening due to an error in our office. We'll have to postpone the Planning Board joint meeting till next week. I see at least 2 familiar names on there, Rick Texera and Ginny Jakes, as members of the existing Housing Authority Board. If you can mute yourself if you're not speaking right now, please. Thank you. Is Ms. Jakes or Mr. Texera, are you two the only members of the board joining us this evening?
Yes, this is Jenny Jakes. Thank you, Joe. We are the two current members of the board, so right now we are the only official board members.
Okay.
And we are both here.
Perfect, thank you. So what we will do is, we will go to both of the applicants, if they want to offer any comments, and then I will go to the my board and the two of you if you have any questions or comments, and then we will go for a vote. So we will start off. We have two applicants for the one position, Maureen Cipher and Charles Carey. Ms. Cipher, I see that you're with us. Do you have any questions or comments you'd like to add before our vote?
Sorry, I can hear you very well.
Yeah, well, what I need is if you're not actively speaking, if you could mute yourself because it helps us with the interference. Okay, Ms. Cipher, if there's anything that you'd like to speak to prior to us getting into questions, anything you want us to know in addition to the letter that you submitted?
No, there's nothing else. Thank you.
Okay, great. I will go to Mr. Carey. Mr. Carey, is there anything that you would like to speak to or have the Housing Authority Board and the Selectmen know about your candidacy for the position?
Just what was noted in my letter, that I have been on the board for about 5 years. I missed the last opportunity to get on the ballot. And in the time that I've been on the board, we've done a lot of great things as Housing Authority. So I'm here this evening to hopefully be reappointed to the board to continue the work.
Great, thank you. All right, at this time I will open it up for questions. Mrs. Jakes, any questions for either applicant?
I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. Texera, any questions for either applicant?
I do not have any, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Shivo, any questions for either applicant?
I would have just one question, if I may, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Carey, explain, what was it you missed? I wasn't quite clear on that. Tell me what, you missed the previous election?
Yes, sir. In regards to pulling the papers for the election, the notice that needed to be done came late, and unfortunately, myself and my family were away the weekend prior to the papers being submitted to Town Hall. I received notice that Thursday prior to that Monday that the papers were due. So I was not able to get the required number of signatures in just that 3 days.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Ms. Riley, any questions for either
No,
applicant?
I have no questions, but just to thank them both for applying. They're both very well qualified and certainly appreciate their interest.
Absolutely, thank you. If there's no other questions, then I will open the floor up for a vote, and Mrs. Jakes, Mr. Texera, you as well as voting members have the option to initiate a motion at this time.
I would like to initiate a motion to reappoint Charles Carey.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'd like to second that, sorry, I was muted.
Okay, we have a motion and a
I'd like
second.
to second the motion.
Great. We have a motion and a second to appoint Mr. Charles Carey to the Housing Board. Where it's an appointment and where we have some participants voting remote, I'm going to go to a roll call vote. Mrs. Jakes.
Yes, please.
Okay. Mr. Texera.
Aye.
Yes.
Miss Riley.
Yes, for Charles Carey.
Yeah. Mr. Shivo.
Yes, to Charles Carey.
Okay, and I will also vote aye. That is a unanimous 5-0 vote on the appointment, and just echo Ms. Riley's comments, thanking both applicants for their interest in this position and for serving the town of Raynham. That concludes the joint meeting. Thank you, Mrs. Jakes, Mr. Texera, and Mr. Carey, and also Ms. Cipher. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Next up is setting of the special election. As the board knows and the public may be aware, about 2 weeks ago, unanimously, I believe it was, the proposal to build a new public safety building was passed by town meeting. The second part of that project is a debt exclusion vote, and we have correspondence from the town clerk requesting that the board set the special election at the Raynham Middle School on Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021, with polls being open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And she also let me know absentee ballots and early voting will be available, as that is eligible through June 30th. What is the board's pleasure?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is set, and it turns over to the clerk's office as the chief elections officer. Great. Next is the repeal of the mask order. Last week, our health agent came before us and requested we repeal the mask order consistent with state guidelines. And earlier today, he sent us 2 mask advisories that will be released. Is there any questions on this before we go for a vote? Mr. Shivo?
None.
Ms. Riley?
No.
Okay, what is the board's pleasure?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is approved unanimously. Thank you. Any other new business, Mr. Shivo?
None.
Ms. Riley?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Town Administrator's Report, Mr. Waters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. June 1st, town offices will be back open to the public Monday through Friday. Unvaccinated individuals will still be advised to wear a mask following the guidance of the Center for Disease Control, the Massachusetts Department of Health, and the Raynham Board of Health, in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19 from unvaccinated individuals. The accounting senior clerk position, we had 4 successful interviews. The town has made an offer to a candidate for the position. As of this afternoon, I have not heard if the candidate had responded, so I have not included that information. Once that information comes to us, I'll pass along to the board. The next regularly scheduled meeting for the Board of Selectmen will be Tuesday, June 1st, 2021, at 7 p.m. right here in the Don McKinnon Meeting Room of Town Hall, 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Massachusetts. The public will be able to participate via GoToMeeting platform or by watching the Raynham Channel on Verizon, Comcast, or recording posted later on YouTube. I believe that will be our first maskless meeting in quite some time. We'll have a special town meeting on June 14th. The warrant has been posted and the town moderator has made a reservation at the middle school for the town meeting. Verizon franchise agreement hearings. I was contacted by Kevin Ellis today about the need to set up 2 public hearings as well as post an advertisement in the paper. I'm going to collaborate with him. We also have to have a representative from Verizon and our cable attorney, Bill Augustine, present at those hearings. So as I move forward with that, I will bring it back to the board to set those dates. But we're looking at June and July. So obviously it'll be dates that the board meets and not one of the other dates. And then finally, a quick reminder related to that, there will be no selectmen meetings on June 8th, June 22nd, July 6th, July 20th, August 3rd, August 17th, and August 31st. And that is all that I have for the board, unless there's any questions or comments.
Great. Any questions, Mr. Shivo?
None.
No,
Mrs.
thank you.
Great. Thank you. Selectmen's Report, Mr. Shivo.
Nothing tonight.
Okay. Ms. Riley.
I also spoke with Kevin Ellis today, and I believe the Raynham Cable Commission and Raynham Board of Directors should be invited to those hearing dates as well, according to Kevin.
Yep.
So appreciate you handling that, Mr. Waters. And the other thing is Memorial Day weekend is coming. The flags look beautiful. Did our highway department friends put them up this year? Thank you. And our fire department friends will take them down. They look awesome. Our Ray volunteers will be putting the small ones out tomorrow. So we encourage everybody in town to put out your red, white, and blue. There's been some questions there. Unfortunately, no Memorial Day parade this year. By the time the announcement came that it was possible, it was too late to plan. But there will be one bigger and better than ever next year. And in the meantime, there's a beautiful ceremony that's going to take place at the American Legion on Monday, Memorial Day at 11 o'clock. Our Veteran Service Officer, Mikhaila Brito's been planning that. It's going to be a really nice event, so invite anyone who's available wants to attend that. That's
Great.
all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Riley. We have no correspondence this evening. Any press time? Seeing none. Any emergency business, Mr. Shivo?
None.
Ms. Riley?
I have none.
Okay. Citizen and community input, is there any?
Mr. Do you want to do the warrant for the easements?
Oh, yes, thank
Emergency
you.
business?
I appreciate that.
Sure.
We'll go back to that in a second. Seeing no citizen and community input, I understand the board has been advised, as I have by town council and the highway superintendent, there's a need to have a second special town meeting on June 14th to handle an easement relative to the sidewalk project on Pleasant Street to cover the town and the residents legally. If it's amenable to the board, I would deem it to be an emergency and we can move forward with that.
So move.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is approved. Thank you. All right. No citizen and community input. Performance of administrative duties. I will entertain a motion for the approval of the Town of Raynham invoice and payroll warrants.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is approved unanimously. And I will entertain a motion for approval of the Raynham Police invoice and payroll warrants.
So move.
Second.
And roll call.
Aye.
Yes, aye.
And I will abstain. That passes 2-0 to 1. If there is no other business before the board, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
you.